Welcome back to another episode of the free VST Plugins Detective, where I review, test out, and demonstrate various free VSTs. For today, we're looking at the Surge XT, kicking off 2022, right? This is the first big plugin I have reviewed, and you can make a legitimate argument that Surge is one of the most popular free synthesizers. You can even make another legitimate argument that Surge is not only one of the best synthesizers, but one of the best and most popular free VST plugins ever made, and they just one-up themselves with Surge XT. Looking on the KVR audio site, you can see they have updated Surge to Surge XT with a massive number of new features and infrastructural improvements, and there's a bunch of them here in terms of the GUI or the user interface, the effects section, all these different things. So we're going to go through with it. I've actually not tested out this plugin yet, and what I like to do with synthesizers specifically is test them out on camera live. Give you my rating after I've used it. So let's go right into it. So first off, we're going to look at here. As you can see, it is a VST3 plugin. I'm not going to lie, I just hate using VST3s because 100% of all the plugins I use are actually VSTs. But we have VST3. Going down here now, we can see we have Surge XT and Surge XT Effects. So very similar to Serum, how Serum actually released their effects part of the synthesizer as its own plugin. We also have this one. So as you can see, I have delay, I have some EQing, I have distortion, I have reverb, I have all these different effects that I can put on not only synthesizer, the Surge synthesizer, but also on any other element in my track. Now let's play it. Let's kick this off. That's interesting. So we have some CPU going crazy right there. Let me try something else then. It might be a bit more CPU intensive than I think. So we can see it's already actually has a great sound to it. And this is the main GUI. I did use, let me see if I can, there's a lot to this plugin, which actually is pretty awesome. I think it's right here. So the main skin is the classic, but I feel like I already reviewed classic, so I might as well say this now talking about the GUI, that this is the dark version. I feel like if we're going to the next level, gotta switch up the skin. So you see, I have 3 different oscillators I can adjust here. You know, after showing you a few different main presets, I have a bunch of different modes I can do here. I've seen A and seen B as well, and I can have I have a lot of modulation within this in so many different ways. You know, this plugin's incredible, and that's why I'm super excited that not only did they release an XT or another version of it and kind of patch a few things up, but then added a lot more on top of that. So just showing you a few different presets. Now, one thing that I love about Surge, and also included with that, is Surge XT, is the amount of depth you have in some of these presets, also that are included. But if you want to make some unique sounds that have a lot of layers to them, this, I feel like Surge is one of the best really plugins to do that. I mean, let me see if I can find a few ones that really kind of encapsulate that. Like you can see and hear as well, there's a lot of unique things. All right, so we have some third-party patches. Let me see if I can find some like just weird ones. Rare Earth sounds kind of cool to me. Interesting. Let's just try guitar. Actually, it's really not a bad sound. Like, definitely the sound quality on almost all of these are insane. Let's try some horns to see. Alright, so super synthy, right? But even still, let's try the soprano sax. Alright, so very synthy when it comes to that, but we have obviously now, again, bouncing around this plugin, showing a bunch of different things. There's a lot. We have a lot of wavetables as well, as you can see from the basic ones. Let's try a few other ones. Maybe try Sine Power. And I know I still have, you know, the main patch there, but showing a few different ones. We could try some third-party ones. We have all this stuff here too. It's insane how much stuff there is on this as well. I'm blown away by all these little settings you can have. Like, this is one of those plugins I feel like already I'm going to give it the 5 out of 5 rating. It's a perfect rating because they're just unbelievable. Let's do some sequences, actually. Super dead mousey. Like, I feel like what song is it? Is it Imaginary Friends? Where he does that, where he kind of opens up the filter a little bit before the drop, and it opens up the filter, and I think he detunes it a slight bit too, using the unison, and that creates kind of this unique build effect. I mean, you can already hear now what I was talking about with the depth, right? Like, the other ones I was playing before were more like standard one-shots. But I think the sequences really show it. Try a different one. Calm. And we have a nice little, like... This also a little bit, too, reminds me a bit of, like, the unique sequencer style synthesis that existed in Massive. I used to love that way I could use, like, an LFO sequencer in a unique way. But as you can see as well, you know, let's say if you do even like meditative music, if you do obviously acid house, if you do any kind of style of electronic or pretty much any other genre, I mean, even some like, I think you could even use that in like a rock style groove, right? Like if you do any mid-tempo like Res or 1788L, is that it? 178? Yeah, I think 178L, all those artists. Ooh, I like that as like a start to a song. And then maybe even some like trappy stuff. Like we have like boom, 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 boom. Like, you know, something like that. So you can hear all this stuff going on. What's funny, and I don't know if I've ever said this on one of my plugin reviews, is I can tell, especially when it comes to synthesizers, that a synthesizer is good once I start playing around with it, and then I realize for this video, or any video, I'm like, wait, I'm actually not talking that much. I should add more commentary. That to me is a sign of a good synthesizer, because you start getting almost from YouTube mode and making a YouTube video, and I start slowly moving to like production mode, where I zoom in or really hone in. But that just shows how good this plugin is. I mean, there's so much to it. My goal for this video, again, was not to do a full-on tutorial, because that could be a long video, as you can see, but more to give you an overview of just the power of this plugin. And yeah, like so much cool stuff. And I feel like when it comes to a lot of plugins, I feel like the presets are a good sign of the power of it, of what it can do, the depth of the sounds, and the variety as well. Yeah, I mean, there's so much unique stuff in this. I mean, if there's any more sequences I can do just for fun. Harmony chords, try this. Ooh. I feel like also game design, too. If you do any kind of, like, scoring for movies, TV shows, this one in particular, that reminded me a lot of video game stuff. Like, if you're walking into, like, a room, and you're, like, doing that, you know? So a lot of different stuff when it comes to this plugin. Let's look at some percussion, right? You can, and that's the biggest thing, is you can make a lot of unique sounds. Get some 909. It's like a hard style kick, like a classic style kick, and then let's try some vocoder stuff. So I actually don't know how I play. I may have to send this potentially to somewhere else. May not know how to do this yet, honestly. Yeah, I'm not sure how to send that. I may have to send this signal to somewhere else, honestly. That's what it looks like. Let's see. Yeah, the vocoder, maybe I'll skip that, because I'm not sure. Or I don't know if as well, if it's like vital, where you actually type in something and then you can play it out, or if you have to route it like the Ableton Vocoder, for example. But you have a Vocoder built inside of it as well. And then, I don't know, I'll show you one more, and then you kind of get the idea. And then I might want to initialize. What I'm going to do, let's initialize a patch, and now let's just mess around and just see what happens, you know? Alright, so we have that. So to switch it, alright, so we can go here. I heard somewhere too, someone, I believe it was someone who commented on my channel, said that, and don't quote me on this, that Steve Duda, when he created Serum, modeled the idea, or the concept behind Serum was based off Surge. I don't know how true that is. I've never done research in terms of like confirming that, but I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. There's a lot of similarities, I feel like, between them, especially just how good they are. Let's go to like maybe... let's see what we got. No, I don't know if I want to do sampled. I actually like that one to start. Okay, let's start with that. We got band up, we got oscillating rounding. Actually, maybe start. The only thing I don't know yet is how to route everything. As you can imagine, each one's a little bit different. Oh, there we go. Alright, so I can do some weird stuff here. So I can do some weird stuff with that. So I can morph it and do it like this. So let's bring up like a fourth LFO. Bring it to morph maybe. Let's do like 7-1. And we can map this as well. Oh, man. Honestly, I'm starting to get too much into this. I just gotta say, this plugin is unreal. The first Surge that got created and got released was, I feel like, pretty legendary when it comes to a lot of free synths, and especially free VST plugins. This one is topping that. Surge XT. Pick it up. It's completely free. Easily one of my favorite free synthesizers I've ever used.